Hello, everyone. I decided to do a voice note for my newsletter as I wasn't in the mood to write a whole newsletter, and I felt like I had a lot more to say and share than would fit into a newsletter. So here goes. I don't know if I will continue with this format, but for today, I just wanted to shake things up and just share. And I felt like I needed people to hear my voice and I wanted to share what was on my heart. So, this has definitely been a very challenging year and a very interesting and blessed year in many ways. What I've noticed from this year is that it's almost like life was not letting up. It wasn't coming to our rescue to relieve us of any discomfort that we felt, you know. And the discomfort came from holding on to untruths or false beliefs that we still haven't let go of. So beliefs about ourselves, our potential, about life, about being supported by life. And it felt like this year, the tree was shaken to see which of the fruit was still going to be left standing on the tree and hanging on the tree. So yeah, I mean, it showed up all the cracks. It showed up where we maybe, like I said, didn't believe in ourselves anymore, or believe in ourselves. And for me, it was like getting my master's degree in trust. So I felt like before I worked through trust and trusting life, trusting myself, but somehow this year it was just amplified, and I feel like I had to level up in radical self-trust and in trusting life and trusting my journey and trusting this path that led me to do transformational work when I could have been a very well paid but yet unhappy lawyer still. And that's not how my life turned out. And this year I questioned everything and I had to really look at, how much I trust this path, how much I trust my instincts when I took big chances and I walked out of a marriage, I left a career behind in law that I studied for and paid off my student loans for 10 years still. And um, yeah, gave it all up because I knew that there was something more. There was I was going to be more, do more, and have more that maybe doesn't come in the form of a big house or a car, but definitely in the capacity for me to hold people in a space of transformation and guide people through a journey of transformation, of self-discovery, of coming to see themselves. So yes, maybe you've also been feeling it, that you are, being called to trust yourself, to discover your gifts, to see your strengths, to play to your strengths, and to trust your design most of all. And that for me helped me a lot. So I discovered human design last year, and it transformed the way I do business, the way I show up, the way I don't hold myself to consistency, because I know for me that my energy comes in waves. And I've learned in the last year and a half to honor that energy. So, where I have days where I really cannot work, I cannot even fabricate or pretend to be creative. I just simply can't fake it. And I had to really honor my energy, especially in times where I felt completely exhausted. I was this year also processing the death of my dad last year in big ways. And with that, the death of one of my most beloved cats, Max. And yeah, the grief showed up in various ways, but most of all in exhaustion. So I had to take it easy. And with that, because I'm working for myself, I had to work on trusting that I'll be provided for, trusting that I will be cared for, trusting that I will have enough, and more than enough that I needed to still keep going and show up in this life and in my work and with my clients. So, yes, it's been a very interesting year, but definitely the human design also helped me to honor my energy, like I say, and also to follow my strategy and authority. And the strategy for my design is to wait for the invitation. And all of us have an indicator of when we are not aligned with our design. So, some indicators are frustration or anger, or in my case, for my design, it's bitterness. So, whenever bitterness showed up, I knew that I was not aligned in my design. And I learned about the way that my energy works, the way that I read people energetically, the way that my aura is a penetrating aura to go deeply into all the deep layers of someone sitting in front of me, be it online or in person, so that I can see who they are, but also see where the blocks are in their energy. And that gift of that penetrating aura needs to come with an invitation, because it can be completely overwhelming if I volunteer information or I start giving advice when it's not asked. And that has really shifted the way I do business. I feel like I stopped chasing opportunities and making it work like like the world tells us to do, and I stopped the hustle. And the moment I aligned with my design by honoring what I do, how I do things, honoring my energy, honoring my rest, honoring the way that I show up in the world, the invitations came. And it was amazing to see where the invitations came from this year. And, in the beginning of the year or in last year when I changed my website, I said I was just going to work with women, but I've had, yeah, very interesting men come up in my space to invite me in to guide them. And it's been very special. So, yes, I'm not sure where I'm going with all of this, but I just wanted to share my experience of this year and maybe how I can be of service and how I can, be that lighthouse and be a projector guide for you or for people that you know. And I think part of it is just to share what I'm busy with so that you can see if it resonates with you. And maybe if you have a gut yes, if you have a full body yes or no to anything that I say, yeah, feel free to get in touch with me. So I have a few options, and in this newsletter, I'm going to just have a few tabs so that if you want more information or if you want me to discuss anything with you about the offerings, you can just click on the buttons and I will send you information, or we can have a call. And one of the things that, like I said, is close to my heart and is the human design stuff. And I finished my human design reader training in the beginning of the year, but I've been very quiet about it because I've been living my own design and integrating that into my life. I've had a couple of clients that I introduced their human design to, and usually through a coaching process. So, still always coming back to that coaching process, because that's the integration. That prevents us from just having head knowledge, but actually integrating the work so that we live that knowledge, we embody it, and we experience the effects of it instead of just having a mental conversation about it. So some way that I would love to, or one way that I would love to show up with human design and support people with human design is that, yes, I do the individual chart readings, which is about 60 odd pages in a reading on your design, your strategy, your authority, the way that your energy works, the way that you show up, your gifts, your purpose, your personality, etc. And it can be overwhelming to get that report. So something I'm thinking of is creating a coaching group next year where we will be a small group that um, will work through our human design profiles. And in the process, we also work on the deconditioning, meaning that, I think our designs are covered up by so much well intentioned guidance that we got from when we were small. We were born into this party called life, and this party started way long before we got here. And we were born into certain rules and regulations and ways of showing up. And what we're discovering now is to honor rather our own authority, our inner knowing, and the way that our design works and our energy works. And believe me, it is very different, and everybody is unique. And I think that is also something that drew me to human design. As much as I love the strength stuff, and I did strengths specifically for that, for the differentiation factor, that we're all differently designed. Our strengths is, you know, 1 in 33 million people have our top 5 strengths in the order that it shows up. So I love that differentiation factor. And even more so, for me, human design goes a bit deeper than the strengths. The strengths is a pattern of thinking and feeling and behaving in our minds, but design adds the energy factor. It adds the personality. It adds the lessons and the strategy that we can follow to optimize our energy and the way we show up in the world. So that whole process requires a deconditioning process. Deconditioning from, like I said, not following the hustling way of doing things, going out and making it work and burning the midnight oil. Yeah, for some people it might work, but for me, I was on a road to complete burnout in the beginning of the year and adrenal fatigue and exhaustion. So every person has to discover their own way of showing up. And for me, the hustle alternative is to align with your design. But again, part of it is letting go of the deconditioning. So I would love to support people in that process, in a coaching way, in a supportive, getting together as a group. It will probably be online, and I'm thinking of making it at least a 6 month program, 2 sessions a month, where you'll get your full 60 something page reading, human design reading, and then every single session we tackle a part of the report, and you know first laying the foundation of the awareness of it, but then working with the deconditioning and the integration through the assignments we set in between the sessions. So if that is something that resonates with you, please get in touch. The other thing that I'm very passionate about is the Gift of Enlightenment board game that I play, either in groups of 3 or one on one. And it's just an amazing tool to help you see how you play the game of life. And yeah, that's something that's really helped a lot for me this year, to also just you know, be a lighthouse for myself, to see, to enlighten the areas that I didn't know. And usually people are scared to play something like this because they think, oh, I'm going to hear something bad, or I'm going to see something bad about myself. And the opposite is also true. We actually uncover gifts, qualities that we are, not expressing. And I think part of me doing this impromptu recording is realizing something that I got from my gift of enlightenment that I played a few weeks ago, is to speak up, for my voice to be heard, and just to share, just to share what comes up for me. So the gift of enlightenment is, it can be a cool tool or a cool process that you can maybe plan for the beginning of the year to set the intention of the year because you play with a theme. And yeah, it can be something that sets up the year for you. And then something else is I am really passionate still about training strengths coaches in the strengths alignment way. And I've really incorporated all my coaching skills and knowledge, as well as my strengths info and passion for strengths, that I've used the last 9 years, I would say. And I included this all into this one training. And it's really for people who feel like they want to know, make a difference, or they have maybe dabbled a little bit in coaching, but they looking for maybe more of a niche coaching, a niche that will help them that to get into corporates easily, because strengths, yeah, I think corporates are waking up to the strengths based approach, to Gallup as an organization. I mean, it's been around for many years, and the strengths assessment is embedded in 40 years of research. So it's a very credible tool. And yeah, my passion is to help coaches and train coaches to use that tool to help people to discover their strengths. And that is, yeah, the first step into their own differentiation, their own way of seeing themselves. And I really have a gift of training coaches. I mean, coaching for me, I was never a great lawyer. I I had one divorce case and I got the people back together and I didn't even charge them for it. But when I discovered coaching, it fit me like a glove. And immediately from the word go, coaching, I was inspired to coach others, to teach people how to coach. So to coach coaches. And that was still my favorite job back in 2007, when I helped train the coaches. And yeah, now I've just added all the stuff that I love about coaching. The coach being specifically, how coaches show up. And it's not about the doing, because if you just if you just look at coach doing, you can go online and do a free Udemy course on life coaching, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do. But the secret is the coach being. Who do you need to be as a coach to show up for someone else, for them to see themselves, for transformation to happen for them to step into their strengths and create success from there. And it requires that as a coach, we do the work, and we do the work on ourselves, and we love our own strengths, and we craft our way, our strengths based way, and our way of doing things. And yeah, I love teaching that. So I'm opening the coach training again for sign-ups to work with a couple of people. And yes, I don't believe in the Black Friday stuff and all of that, but um, I did feel in my heart to give a 5,000 Rand discount for anyone signing up before the end of the year, or before the 20th of December. So if you have thought of changing careers maybe, or you want to make more of an impact one on one, yeah, the strengths is a very beautiful introduction to that science of differentiation. And I've yet to meet anyone that hasn't resonated with their strengths. So, yes, those are just a couple of things that I'm busy with. And I loved sharing this with you, and I didn't realize it's already 20 minutes um, talking. So yeah, I think I might do more of this. If at any time you don't resonate with these newsletters, or you resonate with what I'm saying, please feel free to unsubscribe. No harm done. I would love for people to really hear my voice, and even if it's just one or two, then I'll be happy. So yeah, my message for you is we nearing the closing stages of this year. I am going to do a end year closeout completion session this year. which I do every year, and I've been doing it now for the last 10 years. And it's just an amazing process where we mine for the diamonds of the year, the learning and the growth, and release the disappointments, the anger, the sadness, or whatever came up through the year in a beautiful process. And I will probably do one or two groups here at home in person, and depending on how many people are interested, I'll do online sessions as well. And if you've done it before, you know that it's a magical process, and I cannot tell you how long it lasts because we finish when we finish. Most it's like this year, right? We'll finish when we finish, and hopefully it's by the 31st of December. So that's me. Thank you for listening. If you stayed with me all this way, and I hope to hear from you, and I would love to hear what your experience was this year and any feedback or any sharing. It's always nice for my projector type to get feedback, to hear if you see me, if you hear me, and if anything resonates. So I welcome to hear from you. That's it from me. And yeah, let's keep in touch, and I will keep this conversation going. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.